and Kaltori, a non-custodial payment gateway. He was formerly the chief InfoSec officer at Parity, and he's been instrumental in building secure infrastructure for decentralized applications. Thanks for being here, Kirill. Take it away.
Hey. So, this talk wouldn't be possible without Rose Regina Lawrence, who unfortunately cannot attend, but like if you see any proper due diligence work, links for all the slides and so on, that's her. But like if I'm just stuttering on stage and making fool of myself, that's me. Like my name is Kirill again. And yeah, I've been around a while, and maybe with the first slide, you would figure out how a while it has been, because we are going to talk about pagers. Funnily enough, it is probably the first actual portable digital device. It was patented in Bell Labs 2 years after they invented this, transistor thingy, and it was like the first actual digital way of receiving a communication. And it was wonderful, and it was 75 years ago. And the surprising thing about pagers is that they are fucking still around. And they are around in the places you don't want to be, because the pagers have a very naive assumption that if someone can listen to the digital communication and they're not authorized to do so, FBI is after them because they are foreign spy. And that leads to the certain problematic messaging conditions for that. Notably, many hospitals in America and Australia are using pagers as a way to communicate to the doctors. And if you set up an antenna in the next block, you can read everything which goes there on the wireless channel. There is no encryption, there is no destination specification. It's just like free for all. And you can listen to the incredibly private information, and it is not optimal, to say the least, like to have a list of all HIV patients in your city or other vulnerable populations. Maybe like for you as journalists, it would be interesting to figure out, to be the first one to know then the patient is deceased if they have VIP or something like that. There is nothing in there to protect that. There is no encryption, there is no protection at all. And like, this is to a big extent maybe a historical anecdote. No, because you are doing, do I have it? Yep. Your text messages are not better. Those SMS things, you think, okay, that is at least directed to me. That is like, oh, that's my special, like, precious darling, and like only my counterparty and I can read it. This is not true. This is not true because they repurposed almost the same protocol for the text messages. There is a reason why they are 128 characters originally. And that reason is that this is actually a caller ID. This is what network broadcasts. So everyone who is willing to listen about, oh, person A is calling person B. So anyone is able to listen to those. And to add insult to injury, your cell provider stores them almost indefinitely. I'm old enough to receive a billing detail from my cell phone provider which has every text I ever sent or received. It is the same thing as a billing system. They have it all, and you're not protected. Don't use it to discuss anything sensitive, because no thought had been put in protection. Okay, maybe we can go more digital. We can, have those TCP/IP networks which specify what goes from whom to whom. And we have those like IRC, the original digital chat, once again, still in use by the old guard. No encryption whatsoever. The same thing over and over. Like, okay, like I cannot eavesdrop it if I'm not on your network. But if I'm your Wi-Fi router, okay, all your communication with your protected source, all your very sensitive sexting with your loved one, or whatever else you are putting into that channel, it's up for me. And like for the server, I can have a full log of messages. And this is not even a hidden feature. Many servers do that by default. There is no protection, there is no encryption. It is just bytes of your very sensitive thinking and communication going over the wire. Don't do that, really. Yeah. And every other element of internet infrastructure in the middle can do that, and we know for sure that like most nation states, at least the superpower-ish ones, they are doing that. They will retain everything you said in an unencrypted messaging. So maybe we can encrypt it. Like, you know, Facebook has that green padlock, so communication should be encrypted and it should be safe. I think I would be laughed out of this audience if I would really suggest that you should put anything sensitive, least the private communication with your source or with like someone else of sensitive communication, in a Facebook post. But you know what I wouldn't be laughed out for? Suggesting Telegram despite it's fucking the same. There is no encryption. The server sees everything, and they even have a special honeypot-like features which enable Russian KGB, which is arguably have something to do with running the infrastructure to track where you are in the world every time you connect to Telegram, which is always. You're welcome. Like, it is a weird quirk that we as a crypto community settled on Telegram as our messaging server, provided that it is not doing anything to protect your communication. Actually, it's been like spotted multiple times doing malicious things, and its founders are really good at sort of projecting that there is an encryption. And there is this, for you, like once again, as like media people, as journalists, maybe very interesting quirks. You come out and you claim, oh, this thing has best encryption, but you don't put any encryption at all. God forbid you put any byte of an encryption algorithm in your messaging. And then you wouldn't be even like contradicted in public, because all those nerdy security researchers, they only care about particular bugs in a sort of real encryption schemes. If you just stand up and say, no, you're lying, there is no encryption whatsoever, this is not a publishable event, this is not a scientific article, you wouldn't get a career boost as an academician researching end-to-end encryption. So they managed to trick so many people, claiming that they have anything better than Facebook, like padlock posts, just by doing exactly this. They claim they have the best encryption, which was never broken, which is technically true because like that encryption doesn't need to be broken because there is none. Yeah. We can do better. We have that thing which is, now we are getting into the encryption. So like, I've been, doing some like encryption protocols myself. I've been like working and learning from some names you might have heard. WhatsApp, they have a decent encryption scheme, but what does that mean? That means that when they claim, oh, our application works like that, this is the scientific paper, you need to trust their word. And that paper is great. It is made to the golden standard, and if WhatsApp works as specified, okay, maybe that's a good enough communication medium which you cannot be eavesdropped. How do you know? How do you know that WhatsApp, you are typing your text in, does what it claims to be doing? Facebook prevents anyone to have alternative WhatsApps. WhatsApp is closed source. I, as a pretty capable engineer, I must risk saying, cannot verify what happens inside. They say that they invited some really knowledgeable people, and those knowledgeable people really looked at the code, and they say, that, okay, this is fine. But that is code on their servers, not code on your phone. They can, at any moment, deploy anything on your phone, and you will be no longer protected. See back to the Facebook open posts. And especially in current political climate, we know that it might happen, and we also know that legal norms in the US might prevent them from speaking out that they have been forced to do that, so you would never know. So there are funnier things like that. There was a special series of Anon phones which were informally aimed at cyber criminals. And they were the most best encryption phones, and they had all the same features. So they had a very persuasive white paper claiming that, hey, we're encrypted, we cannot read your messages, use our tech. And then it all ended up being a FBI honeypot. So they literally made criminals pay them money to be eavesdropped. And there is no way you can logically make a difference between an anon phone, which is built to trick you into trusting it and then eavesdrop you, and WhatsApp. And this is the problem with all the closed source corporate end-to-end. So probably fine to discuss maybe like baby shower with your friends and like other things which are like sort of a little bit sensitive, but like not too much. Like you don't want to be targeted on like your family baby details and so on, but not much is guaranteed in here. How we can do better? Oh, Signal. Like you all heard about Signal, and you all haven't heard how Signal improved since Signal 1.0. I have no idea why that it is. It's probably nerds are really bad at telling other people what they have done. But it has all the features like you want. It's like free open source software, so anyone can build their own Signal fork. And you can verify that it does what it says it does, and the Signal server doesn't know anything about what you are saying. And the algorithms there, literally they define the whole modern state of encryption. I deeply respect the people who built that. But there was a problem with Signal 1.0, and that problem being it used phone numbers. Phone numbers are scary. No, like you don't understand how scary they are. If you want to lose your sleep, go to geofinder.mobi, type in your phone number, see where you are in real time forever. That's scary. Don't ever, if you are like protected minority, if like you are a journalist, if you are at risk in any sense, don't give away your phone number, at least not the one in your actual phone. Don't do that. Like it is bad. It is like putting an AirTag with unknown like party spying on you all the time, and we know that it's been used multiple times in like family abuse, like stalking and so on. Phone number is that, but you do that to yourself on your own. Please don't, like really, please. It took Signal a decade to realize that this is bad. So they did this. And you probably have Signal on your phone, and you probably haven't heard about that, and that breaks my mind. Because you can set up a username, and you can set that username, and you can hide your phone so you wouldn't even be discovered by your phone number by other contacts. And then like you give that string of unpredictable letters to strangers, and they can communicate to you. Please do that. Please use at least these to communicate with your sources. Please use at least these to communicate with the people who are at risk. Please use these to communicate with people you want to, like, I don't know, smuggle from Russia, like illegally because they are gay and they are now under criminal prosecution or something like that. Like, this is the minimal bar, which is at least meaningful in a modern environment sometimes. Why sometimes? It's still run by a company, and that's an American company, and that has a very particular set of servers running somewhere out there. And everybody knows what those servers are. And that opens, like, they cannot read what you're saying, but on one hand, they still can correlate who sent message in, who got message out. And second, they can just like ask or force the service not to service you. Or like not service the whole country. If there is an incredible problem, for example, in Russia, to get access to the Signal server. Because like it is predictable, they don't have enough resources to buy all the servers in the world. So like when you try to send message through Signal, you need to communicate that to Signal centralized server, and it might not be reachable. So it is good in a sense of basic privacy, but if we talk about like broader operation security, it's still like more to be desired. And like, yeah, that's an US company. So like, since a few months ago, I've heard that that opens up additional risks for journalists. And I've heard that it is not impossible to imagine a subpoena which would selectively ban you from using Signal if you like particular orange-headed guy didn't like you. So that is what it is. Yeah, so we're getting to things I want you to at least learn to recognize. And they are even worse than Signal at communicating to you what they are. Because the first thing is matrix, but it's also element. And matrix is like email, and element is like Outlook. So matrix is a protocol, and element is an app you might be downloading to actually talk to other people. And the nice thing about Matrix is it's exactly like email in a sense that you can have your own server and another person can have their own server. There is a Gmail in that world, so like if you don't want to care with your server, you can go somewhere and register an account on their own. But in general, it is hard to predict who is talking to whom in a decentralized network. It's hard to predict that that particular machine in the cloud is a chat server of all places. And their encryption is on the standard of Signal, which is annoying at times because like you have that, oh, verify the key of another person and so on, because like, you know, we like verifying keys. This is what got us in the like security engineering at first. You don't like it. At least they figured out that the key is 11 emojis and not just terrible hash of some big, big number. And then there is a SimpleX Chat, which is like a little bit of a new kid on the block. But they do sort of the same as Matrix, but they do it one step forward. And they like, we don't need servers whatsoever, and we wouldn't have even permanent identities for our users. So you only have short-lived invite links, which you can send to someone, and then you have encrypted communication forever, ever. It is a little bit hard to get your sources to use those. To sweeten that up a little bit, they have browser implementations. So like if that is someone who wants, that doesn't want their corporate IT to know that they installed an app or something, they can just like shoot up a private browser tab or like do some other OPSEC exercise, and then can launch it and they can talk to you without having to download any app, which is like also a benefit. But you need to explain what it is and how to use it. And I think the best way to explain it is to explain it to everyone in the world, to anyone who is willing to listen, just like over and over. This is not secure, this is secure, use it. Like, peculiar things happen. The, like, GRU, like Russian intelligence leakers, talking to WikiLeaks, fail to properly use encryption. Like, of all the secret communications in the world, that should be the most encrypted by the best people out there. They slip up. So we all need practice, we all need learning, we all need to talk to our friends and try it out, even if it's like annoying at times, because then you have that reflex. It's a little bit like a self-defense. Like, when you're being attacked, it's to learn boxing. It should have happened like a decade ago. So this is your decade ago in surveillance self-defense. Please try, give those things a try, figure out what works for you. And yeah, some conclusion, like it takes two to tango. Like it is not only about you, it's about your communication partner as well. And it is a good practice to have a conversation prior about like, how do we better protect you? What do you do to protecting yourself? Because otherwise you end up talking with someone in US administration and you think that you're using Signal and they're using that stupid Signal fork, which uploads every message in plain text for everyone in the world to see. That literally happens. And we all seen that in the press. So like, what's point in the end-to-end encryption if your partner cannot do the basic digital hygiene? Talk about it. Removal is a social convention. There is a Russian meme that like, what's once seen cannot be unseen. So if you send something to someone, it is probably disclosed. You cannot properly revoke it. But still, if you've done good meta conversation, if you like discussed before, it might be useful to still click that removal button and that the message would disappear from other person's computer as well. But important to note, you are trusting them on that. And if the software, for example, due to a software bug or a like malicious backdoor, wouldn't remove it, there is nothing you can do. There is no cryptography which can make information disappear. Information doesn't do that. It's entropic in nature, if you allow me scientific speak. So remember this, and yeah, the best way just not to get in a situation where you need to take something back, effectively don't text your ex drunk, this sort of thing. Yeah, like context matters. Like I try to give you an examples, like protecting your very, very secret source in the like core of CIA special operation is not the same OPSEC as just like arranging a surprise birthday party. Those things probably call for different apps just because those are different trade-offs between convenience and security. If we would be better at engineering, you wouldn't have to make those trade-offs. You will have both convenient and secure messaging apps. It might be that it is not possible, or at least we don't know how right now. So use your judgment. Don't be that stupid nerd who is only on like very, very specialized super encrypted messenger, and because of that, they don't have friends, like really. Stay skeptical. Like if someone says that they have the best, especially military-grade encryption. Like if someone says military-grade encryption, don't touch their stuff. Like this is bullshit. They don't know what they're talking about. But generally, like don't trust. Like I have a T-shirt for you, like right? You shouldn't just trust claims, because if you just trust claims, you end up with anom phone in your pocket. And those are different claims. Those are not only about like how secure they are, but also like maybe who are they stakeholders, like whom they're reporting to, like Telegram, again, I'm thinking about you. And yeah, don't let perfect be the enemy of just slightly better than you have now. It's like much better if you would figure out what works for you from all that stack of increasingly secure things and just like use that, learn how to use it, than to just look at this as like, oh, I'm not going to learn what SimpleX Chat is, so that like 15 minutes I've been listening to Kirill is just wasted. Step by step, improve it. Like, you can get better, everyone can get better, and we should get better. So while you're learning, we are writing the code which makes it easier for you, hopefully, at least some of us, I promise. Yeah, those are links I might like invite you to screenshot, because they have very good conversation starters about OPSEC for you, for your sources, for your, I don't know, like someone who is really chronically ill in your family and you don't want the advertisement insurance complex to know about that. Those are good, approachable, up-to-date guides. And those are two links just in case. And yeah, this is me and this is Rose Regina. And out of just pure flex, and you will never be using it, but we put our matrix handles in here. So in case you like listen through till the very end and you were curious about like what the fuck matrix is, you can have at least someone to write to. Thank you very much. Do we have time for questions?
Does anyone have a question?
Absolutely. So like the question was like for the recording. You are not a technical person. You are not expected to be a cryptography expert. How do you, like what it is you verify, what it is you at least rely on? And the answer is like twofold. First is like generally there is a not so joking claim that actually everything in security engineering is just about reallocating trust from the left pocket to the right. You cannot create trust of the thin air, you just need to figure out like, okay, this is like, I put less trust into that element of system, so now I put more trust in that element of system. So every time you try to verify something, you effectively do this. It might be, like in my case, it's more my mind, so like, I might be mistaken about crypto big time, but I put some trust in there. You probably do that with someone else, so like there is some, like you don't trust the authors of an app, but you trust some third party. And maybe there are multiple third parties, so you don't need to put that much of a trust budget in a single one claiming that this is the bee's knees. Or maybe you just wait and like it's been a decade and nobody had been hacked and like there's been like no bad repercussions, that's also indication. In a sense, everything in the world about like is like that. It is like big, different topic, the like Bayesian nature of knowing anything at all. And this is like not different. And yeah, like if you have like any particular OPSEC concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I would be glad to donate 15 minutes to answer the question.
Okay. I think we've got to keep the program running, but yeah, if anyone has more questions later.
Yeah, I'm staying around and like feel free to corner me, and I swear I wouldn't be trying to run away.
Thank you so much.